I want to talk about four main parts. What is public health? Who controls it? How does it affect the community? And where are we now? What is public health? Public health is the science and art of preventing disease, prolonging life, and promoting health through organized efforts and informed choices of society, organizations, public and private communities, and individuals. Who controls public health? The main federal unit with the responsibility for public health is the U.S. Public Health Service and the Department of Health and Human Services. However, there are also many health or care organizations that have played active roles in COVID-19 responses. Who controls public health? The main federal unit with the responsibility for public health is the U.S. Public Health Service and the Department of Health and Human Services. However, there are also many health or care organizations that have played active roles in COVID-19 responses. What were the effects of COVID-19 in communities? People living in geographically compromised areas did not have the best access to resources like vaccinations, COVID-19 information, and accessible nearby hospitals. Long COVID is a wide range of new, returning, or ongoing health problems that people experience after being infected with the virus that causes COVID-19. It can be a mixture of cardiovascular, respiratory, neurological problems, among many. Long COVID is not one illness. People with long COVID can have a wide range of symptoms that can last weeks, months, or even years after infection. People with long COVID may experience health problems from different types and combinations of symptoms happening over different lengths of time. People who have experienced more severe COVID-19 illness, especially those who are hospitalized or needed intensive care, experience long COVID. Some people are at a greater risk of getting sick from COVID-19 because of where they live or work, or because they can't get health care. Health inequities may put some people from racial or ethnic minority groups and some people with disabilities at a greater risk of developing long COVID. Risks which are exacerbated by the lack of health education and literacy and economic status.
That's cool.
There are definite disparities in COVID-19 transmission rates in people of color. The hospitalization rates for African Americans, Alaskan Natives, and Native American populations is 5 times compared to white people. The disparities are evident also in COVID-19 related deaths. There are definite disparities in COVID-19 transmission rates in people of color. The hospitalization rates for African Americans, Alaskan Natives, and Native American populations is 5. For example, proper housing accommodations prevent people experiencing homelessness, or PH, from practicing necessary preventative behaviors such as social distancing and hand washing, which make them highly vulnerable to COVID-19 and other diseases. Mental health is a prominent factor that affects high transmission rates. The prevalence of COVID-19 and PH is 31.59% and 2.3% in non-outbreak settings, a particularly high barrier preventing the effectiveness of these programs is vaccination hesitancy. So, where are we now? in general, there are so many issues like billions of people who are not yet vaccinated. 77% of people dealing with long COVID were unvaccinated at the time of contracting the virus. There are still people who spread misinformation about the pandemic and COVID-19. But what is important is that there are gradual changes to the healthcare system and public health through legislation and organizations like WHO, CDC, and private groups.